Once upon a time, in a quaint little village surrounded by rolling hills and dense forests, there stood an ancient abandoned house on the outskirts of town. The house was massive, with ivy creeping up its stone walls, and its windows were dark and vacant, giving it a forbidding appearance. Over the years, stories spread about the house, claiming that it was haunted by ghosts and spirits. The villagers avoided it at all costs, and children whispered about it in fear, especially during the cold, foggy nights when the wind howled through the trees. Among the village's children were three brave friends: Bota, a curious and kind-hearted boy; Salim, a logical and adventurous lad; and Amina, the quick-thinking and courageous girl. The trio had been inseparable since they were toddlers, always looking for new adventures to embark upon. One autumn afternoon, while playing near the edge of the forest, their attention was drawn to the old, mysterious house. "We should find out if the stories are true," suggested Bota, his eyes gleaming with excitement. Salim hesitated. "But what if it really is haunted? My grandmother said she saw strange lights in the windows once." Amina rolled her eyes. "Come on, Salim. We've heard so many stories, but no one has actually gone inside. Besides, aren't you the one always saying that there has to be a logical explanation for everything?" After much convincing and planning, the three friends decided they would sneak into the house the next evening when the villagers were all gathered for the annual harvest festival. They knew that this would be their best chance to explore the house without anyone noticing. As the evening approached, the three friends gathered at the edge of the village, near the entrance to the dense woods. The sun had just begun to set, casting long shadows across the land. Armed with flashlights, snacks, and a strong sense of curiosity, they made their way toward the haunted house. The closer they got, the more ominous the house seemed. Its dark windows appeared like soulless eyes watching them approach. Once they reached the front gate, they hesitated for a moment. The rusted iron gate creaked as they pushed it open, the sound echoing through the empty night. The three friends exchanged nervous glances but pushed forward, their determination overriding their fear. The front door was heavy and worn, its wood weathered by years of neglect. As they pushed it open, it groaned loudly, sending a shiver down their spines. Inside, the air was thick with dust and the scent of old wood. The house had a grand but eerie atmosphere, with tall ceilings and faded wallpaper peeling away from the walls. An old chandelier hung from the ceiling, its crystals dull and covered in cobwebs. Bota led the way, his flashlight cutting through the darkness. "Let's start with the ground floor," he said confidently, though his voice betrayed a hint of nervousness. "We need to cover as much ground as possible." They carefully explored each room, finding old furniture draped with white sheets, as if frozen in time. The rooms were filled with the remnants of a bygone era. Dusty books, faded portraits, and ancient trinkets that had long been forgotten. Despite the eerie stillness, there was no sign of anything supernatural. Suddenly, a loud thud echoed through the house, making the friends jump. The noise had come from upstairs. "What was that?" whispered Salim, his face pale. Amina tightened her grip on her flashlight. "Let's go check it out. It might just be the wind." They ascended the grand staircase, their footsteps echoing on the wooden steps. At the top, they found a long corridor lined with closed doors. The air felt colder here, and the floor creaked under their weight. They cautiously approached the source of the sound, a door at the end of the hallway. Bota reached for the doorknob and twisted it slowly. The door creaked open, revealing a large bedroom. The room was dark except for a faint light coming from the window, where the moonlight streamed in through the cracked curtains.